Today we're going to talk about playing the guitar by yourself and adding some licks while you're still holding down rhythm. Let's listen to the demo. This is a gospel tune called The Half Hasn't Been Told. A student of mine that I did a video lesson with requested this, and I thought I would share just some thoughts on how to accomplish this song he wants to play.
The half hasn't been told. This world can't contain just how good he is, how unworthy I am. Oh, parades his dear name. All that I've heard and all that I know doesn't compare or even come close. The half hasn't been told.
Okay, so there was just the chorus, and he really wanted to know how to just add some things in there. So I came up with some things real quick. Try not to overthink it too much. I'm real bad about doing that and just making it more complicated than it already is. So this is the chorus, and we'll talk about how to approach this. So one thing you want to keep in mind is you want to keep your rhythm really light and clean. So that way when you play at normal volume for the licks, it pops out in front a little bit more. That's something that if I think you ought to adapt anyway. You shouldn't play real hard on rhythm. And I know sometimes you don't have the volume from the PA, but really try to turn up or commit to a lower sound altogether. You don't have to hear every strum. You almost just need to feel it. So, but when you're by yourself, you can hear every strum and then these things pop out. So what we're gonna do, the concept of it is try to play over while holding down some chords and let things ring into each other. So the acoustic guitar really has, or the guitar in general, what it has is open notes. That's what it has over a lot of, or stringed instruments have over like the piano or something. So they can have things really ring into each other. And that's the nice thing about it. So let's talk about the chords in it. So we're doing it in G. It's 6/8 time. So the half hasn't been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to E minor or E minor 7 or whichever you want to play. Now you can play a C2, C9, or a C. Sometimes I played a C major 7. I did this C and I put this pinky up here because that's the melody note. Compare, even come. And you could play a D like this, like this. I kind of did one of these D suspended things. I like things to kind of like be thick sounding when I'm by myself, so it kind of just rubs. So that's just basically a C shape with your pinky on the 3rd fret. Move it up 2 frets. Now it's on the 5th fret right here. Leave that bottom note alone, unless you're in drop D, which we are not. World can't contain just how good he is, how unworthy I am. Oh, praise his dear name. G. Now I'm gonna choose to go C, D, that I heard. We're gonna do that again. Da 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 da. E minor. You can do it either way. Da da da. C major 7 if you want to, or you can do just a regular C. To, I'm gonna do this D again. Once again, you can do these regular Ds, but I just like how these kind of have this, harmonic rub to it. Half hasn't been told. Back to G. All right, so what we're essentially doing, if you listen to records and songs, you got to pull kind of a producer out in your brain here. And one of the things that you need to know is like, we don't play the melody over the singing 99.9% of the time. Now, people do. I don't recommend it. But we do play melodies or licks in between phrases or while they're holding out a note. So there's a lot of spots in here you're holding out. A half hasn't been told. While you're holding that out, there's not a lot of movement going on, so there's opportunity for movement. But when you're by yourself, you think, you got to hold the rhythm down, most important part. So play that nice and light, but you can go, half hasn't been told. All right, so let's talk about how to do that. So we're playing over a G chord. So I'm going, this is kind of a more prettier song. It's not bluesy. It's not like, half hasn't been told. It's not like that. You could, but that isn't, yeah. I have iced coffee right here, so it's morning time and I need it. There's that. All right, so I wasn't gonna do that, but I just had to. It was just down there, so that's what I did. All right, so here we go. All right, so let's talk about half hasn't been told. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so what we did there is I'm kind of wanting some notes to ring out and hold a G chord. So I'm going to use the G major scale. So if the major scale of G is G, A, B, C, D, E. Or you can't play this open D, which we're going to. E, and then F sharp, then you're back to G, and then it starts over again. G, A, B. Oh, yeah, G, A, B. I'll play the open one. C, D. All right, E, F sharp, G. So you got 2 octaves to play with right there. So we're going to use those notes. And I'm going to start on a chord tone. A chord tone is what makes up a chord. So G, if you're playing a regular G chord, you got 3 notes to play with. You got G, B, and D. That's what makes up a G chord, a straight G chord. So I'm going to start on one. You don't have to, but like the safe rule in the beginning is start on a chord tone, and then I'm going to end on a root of the note because I need to get. I'm playing by myself, so I need to get back to like a bass note. So like it's still full. So I'm going. Now, if someone was holding rhythm guitar behind me, I could, and it would be fine, but it's a little empty versus doing that, and it sets you up at the beginning of the measure. So that's kind of some things I'm thinking about when I create licks and I'm playing by myself. So the half hasn't been told. So all I'm doing is here's the open G while holding that, the G note, and then here's this D right here that I'm holding down. I play this 4-finger G, and I'm going to hammer on pull off on the G string to the 2nd fret and hit that D note behind it. And you don't have to hit that D note behind it, but it's filling, and we're going to play that at normal volume. The rhythm I was playing, so that way 1, 2, 3. Because we kind of stop rhythm there for a second. So we need open notes to ring in, and we need that to be louder. And if you listen to like overdubs, they're about as loud as the vocal. So like you need to be able to play soft, and then in your fingers have half hasn't been told. See how the guitar is right behind it? But if you want the overdub to pull out, you got to play really light, turn up your volume, and that way you go told. That lick was about as loud as the lead vocal. So you're kind of mixing in your head, and it takes dynamic for sure. So here's what that is. You can pinch it with these 2 fingers, or you can they're right next to each other. If you don't hybrid pick, I hybrid pick. But all right, so we're at hammer on pull off on that 2nd fret of the G string while holding that D, and then and I'm still kind of holding that D, it just drones and it fills the space from the rhythm quitting, and you don't feel it as much. And then we're going down to add some kind of like harmonic or kind of a rub to it. There's the major 7 of the chord. So that's in the G scale, so that's an F sharp. It's the 4th fret on the D string. And then we're going back to G, so it doesn't just sound so much like you're running a scale and kind of going forward and backward and adding things. All right, back to that G. And then I'm gonna go pull off on the 2nd fret of the D string to open. So, and then go back to your regular, I've held that D note down there the whole time. And then we're gonna hit that low bass note. It's the top of the next measure, so. And you're back to rhythm. So the half hasn't been told. This world can contain. All right, so there's what we're gonna do. Now we're over E minor. So we're gonna go, who can contain? All right, so here's what we're gonna do on that. I'm just gonna still, in theory, all these chords are in the key of G, and so we can just play with the G major scale, but start on chord tones of the chords we're playing over and end up on them. So I'm gonna go, all right, so I know holding down this E minor, the 2nd fret on the D string, right right there is an E note. So we're going to slide that from the 2nd fret of the D string to the 4th fret, and that's going to add a little bit of tension and release, because we're getting out of the chord there for a second and just in a scale note. And then we're going to hit that G, and those, maybe you think that rubs a little bit too much, but they're going to add some sustain and some things to it to make it full.